Fighting out of the blue corner from Ciudad de Mexico is Marcos Licona. And his opponent across the ring from Ciudad de Mexico, Juan Manuel Marquez.
Serve had just been style way up weak and then have to make a drastic change most of his career.
Bantamweight division, you saw his hard right hand he's on. Good right hand, but same debut made them losing only since then he's had 40 wood in a truly horrid fight in Las Vegas back in.
Marquez is a very adept at doing everything.
Thanks to this Mexican countryman, as I mentioned, Mark. He's perhaps Ellis seems to be up and down like it.
That's true, and this guy's been so man. And
several champions, including Daniel,
coming from Mexico in the last 10-15 years, pretty much.
Hard hand by Marquez, well placed. He claimed he had been in training for a fight a little bit, but
and people are saying that it was unprofessional to send him into this fight. He's doing a little bit more than advertised.
Surprising.
Biggest punch of the round was an excellent left hand.
Marquez hasn't fought there in 9 years.
It's typical of most of the Mexicans today.
CompuBox numbers in round 1, 48. Measured start. Larry talked about how in that lost.
Saw it knock with his left hook to the body. Great combination by Marquez. He's placing.
Marquez is root against Freddie Norwood. Do over in his career, he wouldn't be quite they never came.
Well, that's part of a learning experience. He's fighting a very intelligent champion. Is placing his punches, pretty good defense.
Round in there, Licona enjoying what appears to be a way hook. Gonna be,
as you said, so it would be
Licona trying to go to the right hand with the body, and Marquez in the middle of the ring. Generally, it's Mark
much in this fight at this stage. Licona's meeting in punch.
Hard.
We got to start throwing more. You have to be a little faster, okay?
A little bit tentative.
He hasn't been able to establish any real dominance. Haven't really dominated.
Inexhaustible Mexican fighters.
A lot in the amateur tournaments here in America. A lot of time here in America.
To the top. Licona have slowed the pace of Juan to the body in.
Well, he tells us his favorite movie is Bull Tonight yet.
Cheery little movie that right.
Yes.
Yeah.
On tape while he's
good counter left hand upstairs. Now a lot of subtle skills. Juan Manuel Marquez.
To the body so much in the entire fight has been the left hook. So used to those body shots.
Right hand by Marquez. Fit in the right hand over the top, but Marquez. Pounds entering the ring tonight. A little bit like hitting the heavy bag.
Oh yeah.
At least he's getting the.
He's hiding from you.
Marcos Licona, well over the original. A last-minute throw-in substitute opponent, Derek Gainer, after the first 3 rounds.
Okay, Jim. 30 to 20. Jim, I'll tell you something. What I love is number 2, you don't know what the heck he's doing. Sometimes he throws that duck. California follows with the red duct tape. Keeps faking constantly. Jim, one thing on the rule, Jersey started using that duct tape.
Into his rhythm, whereas Licona is kind of comfortable with the whole situation now.
Mark apprehensive about Licona's great, followed by the right hand. Licona with authority, and much farther between.
Rounds. Whereas Marquez is not as crisp with his punches, as sharp and as crisp as. I saw him block a punch with his left elbow and then throw it to even think to keep up with the different things that he's doing. Our favorites.
Tremendously skilled.
Remember, he's throwing the same time you're throwing.
You see here how Marquez is landing clean blows.
Is not put it charitably.
2 punches thrown per round.
Having 2 good champions coming out of FL and one, and they're both very good.
Is talk knockout. As many rounds as possible and see your left hand. One thing when you're training a fighter like Zaragoza, couldn't have knocked people out with a shovel, but still one counts. You can bet the fighters think about him.
And especially after the way we don't never know when you want to fight if it's nowadays. It's in addition to shots to the head.
Opponent could turn out to be too brave for his own good.
Larry, for entertainment value,
I only mention that because he is not in condition for this fight.
50-pound prospect who performed between rounds will get a look. Fighter from the Bronx who's overwhelmingly arousing some attention in the sport. The 140.
Very impressive fighter tonight.
All right, how tall this.
I'd make him the favorite over any of
future. When not sure to make enough.
He's looking now. He's going to be headed towards some big super fights.
Morales or Barrera. He's waited long.
A misstep when either fight business reasons. This is the difference maybe between
another great left hook.
Yes. And a right hand up.
You know,
I know that stuff.
Personally, I would say no. They absorb the punches. He's landed with some great left hooks, and with a lot of right hands on the top and left hook.
Doubling and tripling on that solid.
So Licona doesn't know what to prepare.
Juan Manuel Marquez fighting an entirely different style of opponent. Then he's well on his own, landing more victory, winning every round. Well, in a brilliant offensive show so far against Marcus Licona. In round 6, Juan Manuel Marquez landing 20 of 39 power shots. Type numbers. Harold Letterman.
Effective aggressiveness getting over for Marquez.
Failed me, the gentleman who's refereeing the bout. Gaddy Ward fight 10-7 for Mickey Ward. Fight by a single point. Pound coming forward with the right hand to the bottom.
Every time Marquez, see there?
Thinking that he might want to buy the boat cleaning. Licona says he was born to be. Well, that's an awfully good yacht.
he's not doing very well.
In the woods of eastern Connecticut, one of the most.
Got to use little combinations, move side to side. It's hitting you in the body. You got to move back.
As though he would have liked to have mustered a smile, but do so. Total in round 7. And Licona.
And that he wouldn't embarrass him. The fighters in the world today and fighting a very credible fight.
Showing how dazzling Juan Manuel Marquez.
You could talk him into it and pay him the right price. It would be great.
From Licona, it's going to be great work for him.
We're into the final rounds of the fight.
Than that of Marco Antonio Barrera.
Physically one of the strongest heavyweights of modern times. He was physically one of the strongest guys.
If you talk about trying to match him against either Barrera or Marquez.
In recent fights, he looked good in some fights and looked ordinary in other. Has been very consistent for the most part in all of their fights.
Morales gets up for the big occasion.
Great uppercut.
Down goes Licona on it.
And it's a punch.
Okay. And he says that
You know, Marquez is showing so many different.
right
Marquez said, thank you.
Marquez got great.
when he saw that knockdown.
Well, I had to travel up from Pensacola to see.
Mr. Marquez.
Early in his career, we wouldn't have.
Or he's said and becoming stagnant last few years. Fighting top competition.
Knockout and 11th in his last 12 at 142.
Has good recuperative talent. So that right uppercut.
How about that left uppercut, left hook combo?
To return shots as fast as it was before earlier. most unusually executed combinations coming from
with their hands.
all the time in perfect balance. They do unbelievable things.
And it's because
See, earlier he would always come back.
Licona punching from the back seat now, and
Marquez would finish up. Now he's not.
hoping to get away from some of the artillery that
To be there when the last bell rings.
Licona opened a cut under his left eye. A 10th consecutive KO for Marquez. In what I saw,
Great diversification of combinations.
What happens after you get hit and hurt over and over again?
There's the right hand that punctuated the 9th round.
Winner by TKO victory, Juan Manuel Marquez.